Yeah. I have a guess, and I'm going to say 9.5.
I mean, it was dropped, right?
It was dropped.
6.
Don't do that to me, bro.
I'm gonna say 6.
Don't do that to me, bro.
And it was all your fault.
Welcome in. One more pack. We have a fun video here for you today. Guess that grade. We're going to be going through some of the top cards in our collection, and we will be guessing the grade. And in 6 months' time, roughly, we'll get the cards back, and we'll be able to see how we did.
To give you an example here, this is a pride and joy of our collection, the thing that got us into collecting to begin with.
We actually pulled this 20-something years ago.
When we were kids.
Yeah.
But there it is. I mean, like, you look at the card, it looks fantastic.
But the centering's off. You can see it.
Yeah, grade of 7.
Yeah.
So we're going to take some of our favorite cards and see what happens with them.
Yep. Let's do it.
Let's go. So first one up, Arthur. We should write these down somewhere. You know what? We'll put them on screen. Okay.
Use all of my abundant space here.
Arthur, Wizard's Apprentice. I'm going to take a quick look at the centering. Patrick's going to go for the corners. I think, looking at this card, looking at the back, it's easier to tell a little bit. The centering is a little bit off, but it's pretty close.
Okay.
It looks to me like it's a little bit thicker on this side, but by a smidge. And then in terms of scratches or anything, I think the card looks pretty good.
Okay,
What do you think?
On a closer look, we are going to look at the corners of the card. And you see a small cut in that corner. It's not perfectly round, but I don't know how harsh they're going to be, whereas that would be a more rounded corner there. It's another cut there, I'd say, and a cut there. So not the perfect rounded corners that you'd want to see on a card. And as far as edges go, it doesn't look like there's too much damage to the edge. It is hard to tell. I'd say we're looking pretty good. What's your guess on this card, on Arthur?
I think I'm coming in at an 8.
I'm going to go with an 8.5.
8.5, okay.
Yeah. All right, Arthur, first guess, put them on the board. We will have some sort of internal competition between the two of us. And I'm at 8.5 and Jason's at 8. Let's continue.
Let's keep going. So this is our misprint Ursula's foil card here for Lorcana. And looking at the back here, centering looks pretty good. Maybe a little bit lighter on this side, a little thicker on this side, but it's pretty close. And not really seeing any scratches or anything. Card looks good condition. All right. I think that one's, as far as I can tell, top notch.
Okay, so at a closer look, the corners are not too bad. They're not perfectly rounded, as you can see there. That'd be a little bit of a cut. Edges are looking good. It doesn't look like there's too much damage on the card. I'm gonna be in, I'll give my guess first this time. I'm gonna say 8.5 again.
I think that one is a solid 9.
Okay, Patrick's in at 8.5, Jason's at a 9.
All right. Next up, another Lorcana card here, Robin Hood. This one I pulled at a store event. It was a starter deck tournament. I opened my 6 packs on top of the starter deck, and this is what came out. Foil Robin Hood, top card of set 3. I mean, centering looks pretty good. I've got no complaints on the centering side. Harder to tell because this end is darker. Yeah, wow. Hard to notice any imperfections in centering, and I'm not seeing any scratches or anything.
All right, we'll just take a closer look at the corners. Now, it seems to be a common theme here with these Lorcana cards. The corners are not perfectly rounded, but that one doesn't look too bad. But really, the edges are in great shape, so it's just the corners that I think are going to keep docking these cards. The centering that you showed, the surface that you showed, and just the corners being the problem here, maybe a slight tick up there. I'm going to give this card an 8.
I think I'm gonna go with 8 as well.
All right. Maybe next time you give your guess first.
Okay, I'll do it
What kind
for Bell
of
here.
competition this is?
This Enchanted one we actually pulled in a pack battle early days, and was one of our first videos to blow up. So
That's going to be linked right here.
she's a little special to us. Centering looks decent, not too bad on the back there. Much harder to tell with like the full card on the front there, centering things like of that nature. But looking at this Bell, not seeing any imperfections along the actual card itself. And that centering looks pretty good. Okay, we are going to check them out with a centering tool after.
I just thought I'd put that on camera so you guys see that we do have a centering tool, and we will be looking at every single card that is submitted. I think the easiest thing to check is centering, and we will not submit a card that centering is not perfect. Wow, look at those corners. Perfectly rounded.
You know, when you're criticizing the other cards, sometimes it feels like you're being a little nitpicky, but then you see a perfect corner and you're like, oh no, this is clearly what he's looking for.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. All the corners are good. Oh, those edges look good too. I don't...
Is our first shot at a 10?
Oh, there's a little scuff right there.
It could just be the sleeve.
Oh, that might have been just the sleeve. It came off.
Oh, okay. Oh, it had me nervous there for a second.
Okay, give your guess first.
I'm going to say 10.
I think it's a 10.
Oh, that would be so exciting.
A 10 Bell. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below.
You have 6 months to guess, but comment now. And while you're commenting, subscribe.
It's a good thing to do too.
All right. Next up is Mickey, also from Lorcana. And let's get right into it. We'll check in the back for the centering because really that's all we have to go off of. And that looks decent. Maybe this side's just a hair thicker, but I mean, it's pretty close. And then looking at the surface, not seeing any scratches that are sticking out or any kind of
Print lines or anything like that.
Nothing, no. Looks pretty good so far.
Okay, okay. Get the zoomed in look. Wow.
That's a perfect corner.
Corner number 1, perfect. Corner number 2, perfect. Corner number 3, I say that's as close to perfect as it could be. Oh, if that's just on the... Oh, if that's on the card. That might be a scuff on the card. No, it's not. It's
Okay.
not.
It's in the sleeve.
Just the sleeve.
Very careful. Be so careful right now. Be so careful.
Okay. I mean...
I'm going to put that one at a 9.5.
I'm going to put this at another 10. Our second 10.
Whoa! 2 10s.
2 10s.
A brave choice here. All right. Our first magic card.
Oh, hello. I think I pulled that one.
If you've been watching the channel for a little bit, you have seen this serialized bad boy coming out. Couldn't be happier about that. And, you know, I said... One of the goals for the year for me was to was for us to pull serialized cards. Oh no! Look at the back. You can clearly see this side thicker than that side. The back cut isn't great.
Mm-hmm.
The back cut, the top.
Look
to
at the
bottom
top. No, top to bottom is still...
No, top to bottom I think is okay.
Okay.
I don't think it's too bad. Top to bottom, but that side to side on the back here, that could be a problem. I'm not sure how that'll rate up versus the middle cut, which the centering here looks decent.
Interesting. It's interesting how that happens.
Interesting. So it's not perfect for
What
sure.
about the bend in the card? Do you think that's going to have any effect on the grade?
Standard for all Magic cards. It's basically just accepted as part of the game now. Not look. So we're just gonna move the light across.
And that must be the foiling that they use, because if they went with the holographic, maybe it wouldn't bend as much.
I think not. Okay. You know what? That card looks pretty good.
Okay, let's take a closer look at some of these corners here. Yep, that looks good. The edges all along the top look good. To the other corner looks good. Okay, I don't see any problems with this card. Quick scan to the back. I think that's just the... I think that's just on the penny sleeve again. Okay, I'll take my guess first. A serialized card. 357 of 500. Godless Shrine. It's gonna get a 10.
Whoa. 9.5.
I don't think that centering on the back is as big of a deal as you think.
I think 9.5.
Okay.
It's just not. It's so close to perfect, but it's just not perfect.
We have our guesses.
Here it goes. Moving on to Pokemon for the first time.
Okay, here we go. I like this card actually.
If you're seeing this card, then we've already put out our video where we caught them.
We might not have.
No, we're gonna get to editing. Okay, let's look at that centering. Let's be really serious about it. To be serious, you gotta be quiet. It's good. It makes for good TV. I think it looks pretty good. Okay. Looking at the back, the top here is fatter than the bottom. So again, the cut on the back, I don't know how important relative to the cut on the front, where that does not have that problem. These top and bottom look pretty identical, and the sides also look pretty good. And looking at the card, not seeing any obvious cuts or scratches. Feeling pretty good about this card.
Okay. Just gonna take that closer, zoomed in look at these corners for you. It's not perfectly rounded. Now is there a big price difference here from a 10 to a 9?
Yes.
Sure, there's quite the drop off. That seems to be the case with Pokemon. So the edges do look good. It's a brand new card, brand new set. The corners do not look perfect in my opinion. I mean, even there you can see
you can kind of see
the
it.
fatter versus. Well, I'm gonna go that this will not get higher than a 9.
I think that's an 8.
Okay, I can see what you're saying.
All right, well, let's hope we're wrong on that one.
We're gonna submit it anyway.
We're going to be devastated when they all come back as 6s because we have no idea what we're talking about and not enough experience to make these calls.
There's only one way to gain experience.
Hey, back to Lorcana. Aurora here, looking at that card. No scratches, no dents, not seeing anything. Looking at the back for the cut. And, I think this might be a little bit thinner than that, but nothing too crazy. The top and bottom look good. I peeked at the corners, and I think they look pretty good also.
Well, we will take a closer look there. They're not perfect.
Everything's look perfect.
Oh, look at that one's nice. 1 of 2. That's not perfect either. That's better. So like 50% of them, you know. That doesn't mean it's going to get a 5 out of 10, right? That just means that it might be closer to just docking some points off. If the corners were mangled, right, that's when you'd really get down there in the points. And it depends who you grade with. I know Beckett does the point system, so does some other grading services, whereas PSA doesn't. I got to give a number. 8.5.
9.5.
We're off by a whole point.
I know. I think that card looks nice.
Am I passing the top loaders?
Yeah.
I think that it's interesting because we're just really giving our cards all high scores. And we didn't pick any cards for this video that would be a 5.
Yeah, we took out some enchanteds. I'm disappointed. Like, I want to get graded, but very clearly they were missing, a piece here or there. Well, not missing a piece of the card, but they weren't gonna be up in contention. Surfer Stitch foil, the first legendary foil for Lorcana that I pulled from a starter deck.
Oh,
and gotta say that cut looks pretty good. That centering,
that does look good.
back also looks pretty good. Okay, maybe a little bit thicker on this side, tiny bit than that side, but it's pretty close. And then looking at the front of the card, I don't know, this looks pretty clean to me.
Okay, so I think for sure 10 out of 10 on everything you just said right there. Everything you showed so far is pointing towards 10. That corner, perfect. Perfect. A bit of a cut on that corner. Oh, that's close to perfect. You want to give yours first?
9.5. I like that card a lot.
9.5. I'm sticking with you there. 9.5.
Okay. Let's back to our enchanteds. And we've got Maui here. We've got this card in a trade. And Let's look what's going on at the back here with the cut. Ooh, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty even on the back. We've noticed some Lorcana cards are hard to get that. And then the front.
This is a good reminder, just because we're saying we got this card in a trade. It is, when you are trading cards, if you're a collector or even just trading for fun, don't get screwed and trade for a card that's you think is good value, but actually is in terrible condition. Do some due diligence and look at the card and just make sure, you know, you're not getting something that has a terrible scratch through the middle or something like that. Nice corner there.
I think when you're not trading for a card you're going to play, maybe not necessarily this level of inspection, but you want to definitely be looking at every aspect of a card if you're doing it for the collection.
Yeah.
How are the corners?
So good. There's potentially a scuff right there. See that right there?
Okay.
So that could just be a white mark. Maybe we can get rid of that. Maybe sand that down.
Do you actually think it's part of the card? Come on, it's part of the sleeve probably, let's hope.
I don't want to do too much damage here to the card. Oh, it's upside down, the sleeve. Yep, my finger just sanded it. It's all gone. I have to say a 10.
Wow, a full 10 for that.
Yep, I don't see anything wrong with
Okay. Nothing on my end looked bad, so if you like the corners, I'm going to give it a 10 as well.
You weren't even looking.
I was distracted. Distracted by this beast card we're going to do next. Top card set 2. Trying to mix in the enchanteds here with some regular cards just for the cuts and stuff. And you look here, that looks pretty good at the back. Yeah, I don't see any major cuts on one side or the other. Top and bottom. Let's look at the card, quality of the card real quick. Barely noticing the foiling, but surface looks good. I'm pretty happy with this card as well.
Okay.
Yeah, we did too good of a job in our pre-screen.
Yeah, that corner's perfect. I mean, look at that corner's perfect. I'm going to make sure to send this video into PSA with our submission, just so they know, you know, kind of that we've already looked at it. Edges look good. I don't know. What are you saying for this one?
I'm gonna give that card 9.5.
Say 10.
Whoa, another 10.
You know, that's why
What
I
are
don't.
the odds of getting that many 10s?
Probably high.
No. Okay, so this card has the price we negotiated for it. It was not $100.
It's not what we paid.
Although it has dropped in value quite a bit.
It's sitting at close to 60 now. That's the top Charizard from Obsidian Flames.
And that's kids is why you always bargain when you're trading for cards.
Yeah.
Okay. That centering is a little
We
bit
should
off.
have taken the price tag off. That looks kind of tacky.
No, we want to flex how much money we spent.
We didn't spend that.
Okay.
You just said we
The
negotiated.
cut is off. Right here you can tell it's thinner than on this side. Centering is just a little bit off here. Not egregious, but it is bad. And the card looks pretty good. Looks pretty clean. Interesting. How's the cut on the back? Oh, the cut on the back's worse. Look how thick that blue line is. Look how thin that blue line is.
Ooh.
It's pretty bad. Pretty bad centering.
I mean, we could take a look at the corners, but that might not even earn a submission.
Well, it's in the video. It's getting submitted.
Oh, it earned a submission.
How are the corners?
It's hard to say because of the shine. I'm going to say they're fairly good. A little weird cut on 2 of them, 2 of the 4. And the edges.
Look how thick that side is versus the other. That's crazy.
Yeah. Just because of the centering, you know there's going to be probably a couple scratches on the surface. It's hard to have a perfect surface. I'm going to say probably a 7.5.
I think that's our first 7.
7?
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to a very, very, very fun card that we pulled not too long ago when we were collecting 151. Probably one of my most favorite pulls of our whole collection was this Charizard EX from 151.
kind of like the story behind pulling it. I had a UPC in hand. I was like, no, it's too expensive. You're overcharging. I'll take the ETB instead.
Yeah.
Like, the whole thing was just fun. And the cut looks pretty good.
Does indeed, eh? This, now, if you all remember, this dates back, I did admit in a past video that I dropped this card.
Can't trust you with anything.
So I did admit that I dropped this card. So if I dropped it and it comes back at 10, that would be phenomenal.
Okay, surface looks pretty good. I think the surface and the cut are good.
All right. Another way for you guys at home to check the surface of the cards is to actually just have like a black light. And apparently you can get a pretty good look at the scratches and stuff. So I've seen on the interwebs.
We're doing this for our enjoyment, for you to watch. There definitely is a process to doing this using a centering tool like we're going to a little bit later on. Using a black light, because you really want to submit cards that are going to get 10s. Yeah. That's all that really matters in the grand scheme of things when it comes to these kind of cards. Older cards, 9's good.
Yeah. I have a guess, and I'm going to say 9.5.
I mean, it was dropped, right?
It was dropped.
6.
Don't do that to me, bro.
I'm going to say 6.
Don't do that to me, bro.
It was all your fault.
No.
My actual guess is 8.5.
You can't change it.
What? No, I don't want to lock in. It's
already on the screen. It's locked
in. Who's editing this? Okay. Vivid Voltage.
There's a special card.
Pikachu VMAX.
This card belongs to a viewer.
The only card today that we do not own, we are going to submit on behalf of our cousin.
Yeah. Viewer Jay.
Yeah, Jay. And Jay, that centering on the back there
E
looks pretty good.
Al Joel.
I gotta say, centering on the back there looks pretty good. Looking at the centering on the front here, kind of just tracking the ability on this side to the other side. That also looks decent. In the surface, let's see. Not seeing anything immediate. Oh, what's going on there? No, that's just the design. This card looks pretty good.
Whoa. You're going to have to take another look at that because he's going to want us to do our due diligence if we submit this for him.
Okay.
Yeah, just even if you don't actually look at it, pretend like you're looking at it a little bit more.
Make sure you do the upside down. It is like a blizzard. You got to just check it's not going to fall out of the sleeve.
Yes.
I think we're good.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to look at the corners here.
Okay.
Corners look good. Corners look good. What's your guess? What do you think?
Well, buddy, I think you got a 10 on your hands.
Yeah. You know, I'm gonna make sure it's a 10, and I'll just go ahead and tape this to the card, and when we submit it, so the grader has a little treat.
You're gonna bribe them with a Feastables bar?
Shout out to Mr. Beast and Feastable. And if you tape these chocolate bars to your cards when you submit them, that's how you get 10.
Can't be right.
Joel, for you, I hope you get a 10, buddy.
Can't be right. Okay, Mickey Mouse, the first ever enchanted we got. You bought from a blister?
A blister pack from Toys R Us.
Oh my gosh. If you're watching this from the States, Toys R Us doesn't even exist anymore for you.
I didn't know that.
Okay.
Too bad for you, because we got all the enchanteds now.
Okay, you know what? That cut looks pretty good. I am actually very happy with the back of this card in terms of the centering. And I'm pretty happy with the front of the card in terms of the centering. Our first ever enchanted looks good. I mean, that's a little bit on the sleeve there. That's an indentation. That's fine. That's not the card.
We're also not professional YouTubers, so we're not good at holding suspense, as you see Elsa sitting there next to be graded.
No.
We should have had these cards upside down.
Yeah, that Mickey card looks fantastic.
Looks what?
Fucking fantastic. Don't leave us in suspense. What are the corners? How are they?
All the corners are perfect.
All the corners are perfect.
I'm looking for something wrong
can't find it, folks.
Jason?
Yep.
I think we're about to own a 10.
That's 10.
Mickey Mouse.
That's my guess as well.
Graded.
Couldn't find anything wrong with it.
Wow.
The most valuable card we've pulled since we started collecting.
Can't even believe we have this card. How have we not sold it yet?
Oh my gosh. I got a call. I was in bed. And this was when it was hard to get set one. And I got a text from a coworker. And he was like, hey, Walmart has blisters right now. I was like, man, I don't want to go get up out of bed. I did anyways. Drove myself down to Walmart, picked up 8 blisters, put them back, grabbed 8 blisters from the middle because I had a good feeling about the middle, and this was the first pack I opened from those 8 blisters in the car. Car pulls, of course.
It wasn't on film. The thing we're doing is putting it on film.
Look at this card. This card is just pure flex.
How much is that card retailing for right now? Like,
$1,300.
and if it was to grade a PSA 10,
$4,500.
$4,500.
If you can get a 10, if you can be one of the few.
Well, what's the consensus here?
Well, consensus right now is this card looks pretty freaking good. Centering on the back, good. Centering on the front, hard to tell always. But I'm not seeing anything on the surface that would make me worry. Look at the foiling, just the wisps of winter kind of. I don't know. This card looks good.
Okay, we are going to take a closer look here. This is why we've got the zoomed in cam. Oh, it's a little,
You can see it, yeah, just a tiny bit off.
a little notch.
So one other thing to note, if you get 3 out of 4 10s in categories, and the last one's a 9.5, it grades a 10, just not a perfect 10. And there is a difference between 10s all across the board and 9.5s in the 310 range.
Yeah.
How are the corners?
The corners look okay, not perfect.
Interesting.
The edges, you know, it looks like this card was pulled in a car.
But not dropped.
9.5.
10. I'm manifesting the 10 for this card. I want it to happen, so it's gonna happen.
I'm putting that in a sleeve right away.
Yep. This was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Well, that was our very, very first Guess That Grade video, where we will be also, stay tuned, we will be reviewing Mr. Beast Feastables. Yeah, you just got to throw some Mr. Beast content into your YouTube channels. That's how you go viral, I think.
I think you have to start running those things by me before you put them on camera.
We are not sponsored by Mr. Beast. We are not sponsored by Feastables. We do not own the rights to this chocolate bar, this image, or anything like that. But we have a small channel, and now I can tag Mr. Beast. So hopefully we become a big channel.
Can we admit that?
Yeah, I can admit that. I just did.
Who's still watching this late in the video?
Nobody.
Like and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Stay tuned where we find out the grades.